Hey, what's up, everybody? Just wanted to make a video because I'm tired of these videos of these so-called collegiate recruiting experts or counselors or whatever you want to call them on social media, and they act like they can help your kid play sports at the next level. Um, I'm hoping that your son or daughter makes it to the next level. Um, but I think you just need to be aware of some of the landscape and what's going on. I don't make any money from this. I'm not looking to make money. I have a job that pays my bills. I just remember my kids going through the recruiting process, and I just remember um, some of the challenges they had, and then just some of the decisions that we had to make, and the decisions that we ultimately made in our own kids' recruiting processes. Um, so we all know that the college landscape is changing. The college athletic landscape is changing. Um, and we're not even going to talk about NIL and all that stuff because I'm definitely not an expert in that area. But I can tell you that a lot of D2, D3s, and NAIAs are expanding their rosters because they want the tuition money or the uh, dorm money or whatever, right? I've even seen instances where someone at an NAIA was given a full athletic scholarship, which paid for the tuition but didn't pay for the room and board, right? So the school would charge this particular student athlete $2,000 a month to live in the dorm, right? He didn't live in his own room; he had a roommate, right? So then you have to scratch your head and think, what is the business model of this institution, right? Because if they're not getting tuition, then are they making money from the room and board, right? Because that's a lot of money, especially in the Midwest. So I think we need to be careful, right? And also, there's a lot of schools that are hemorrhaging financially, and based on some of the new legislative changes, and there's a decrease in funding for R&D, and then you have situations where it's harder for foreign students to matriculate into American schools right now. And a lot of schools make a lot of money from foreign students, right? Because they not only pay full tuition, they pay more as a foreign student, right? So when you look at the revenue streams and then these revenue streams aren't available, you have to really scratch your head and question, um, how is this school going to stay afloat, or how is this athletic program going to stay afloat, or how is your sport going to continue to get funding, right? Um, I don't know about you. I've never seen an AI school or a D2 school or a D3 school on TV, right? So I don't think they're getting a whole lot of TV revenue, right? If you look at, and they usually have attendance numbers as well when you look at the box scores of the various sports, and the attendance numbers are pretty low, typically in the D2, NAI, D3 space. Okay, so I'm not bagging those schools, but I think you need to be careful to ensure that, one, you're not getting hustled by the school, right? So that they're earning money from you via other means, and then typically, what I tell people is you want to look at their endowment, right? How big is their endowment? Because then it tells you a couple of things. One, how much they have as a school, right? And then in terms of resources. And then two, it tells you a lot about the alumni support, because a school that has small endowment, and I would say a small endowment is usually $1 billion less or less, then if they don't have $1 billion or more, then they really don't have strong alumni support, right? And so you have to question, how are things going to stay afloat, especially in this current climate. So just be careful. Like I said, I remember sitting through an hour of the NCSA rep trying to sell us on their services. And then I did my own research and I realized that person's kid ended up in a small school somewhere in the South somewhere where they didn't really have good facilities. And it was a situation where I don't think that, it was a tough situation. It wasn't a challenging, it wasn't a huge win, right, at the end of the day. And this person is trying to sell us on the fact that they can help our kid get to where they wanted to go. So if you couldn't even help your own kid, how are you going to help my kid, right? So I just wanted to share that. Hopefully this is helpful. And, if you have questions, feel free to reach out to me. Like I said, I'm not looking to make money off of this, right? I have a job, pays my bills, right? This is more of, I'm just tired of hearing the BS.